yes, green. This one for the money.
Most niggas hating, they don't get nowhere. How you say you love me, but you never dare. Tryna find somebody real, that shit kinda rare. I don't need nobody else telling me something else. I see trade, they trading, I said okay then. Had to get back to this money shit, cause that's the basics. Don't be reaching for my money, you get hit with Drake quick. Leave a pussy nigga dead right there on the pavement.
Alright, y'all, so I think I like the way the layout is. I just want to go over basically some stuff when it comes to everybody being in the Discord. This is going to be a video for y'all. First of all, welcome. I appreciate y'all even joining. You get me? Don't expect to just make money in here. Like, this is not that. I just want to get that out the way. This is not just about making money. If you think I'm going to be that peer that's just like so-called different and just going to like basically be like just all about what you see on social media, I'm not. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I keep it through the gut type of hunted. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, this shit took me 5 years, bro. 5 years to put this thing together. And I'm not gonna let it fall apart just from it being like an illusion or being like filled with just a lot of nothing. This shit gonna take steps. It's gonna take a lot of critiquing, a lot of molding, a lot of comprehending. You get me? Like the terminology, introduce yourselves. Like I said, I appreciate the ones that did. The course, I'm gonna be dropping little different videos. I'm gonna also put in the course. I'm gonna be dropping different videos that can help y'all in here that's already in here. Anybody that y'all end up seeing joining like from here on out, after November 23rd, 2025, they have to pay. They are on the subscription, whatever. I appreciate the ones that just joined and just took a chance on the free part, on just knowing like, I'm not playing. This shit is gonna get real. And as we get along, or the ones that's joining later on, man, you can see why, or it's a different type of community, bro. So I just want to make sure everybody taking it serious, and I just want to say thank you again. And other than that, let's get to it. Let's go over. Currently, right now, I'm working on something called funded accounts. So these funded accounts are basically, instead of using my live account, so in 2023, 2024, I started to really become profitable. And when it became like profitable, I meant by like consistent with my strategy. You get me? I started to find my edge. But I never knew that not having enough capital was the main reason why I wasn't getting where I want to get to. You get me? Like, I just wasn't satisfied. And not being satisfied can really deteriorate or like hinder your not progression. I guess you could say progression. It can hinder your journey. You get me? Just not being satisfied. So luckily for the ones that's in this thing now, you got these funded accounts, and they're like a big blessing, bro. Like, let me show y'all something. I've already requested, I want to say like, just count. That's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Let's start from the bottom up. 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. And that's just from this dashboard, y'all. 90, bro, I didn't already hit this prop firm in the last 3 months. When I first came up with this plan, when I first started, and this is all a part of my strategy, bro. This is just where I'm at in my journey right now. From 2023, 2024, I was finding my edge. 2025, I had to start over. But I started to understand like I didn't have enough money, the satisfaction feeling. I got into the futures prop firms. These prop firms are the real deal. These prop firms are not just supposed to be looked at as a get rich quick scheme. It should be looked at as in, bro, we don't have to work no more, bro. As long as you go off of the strategy that I'm going to teach and the system that I'm going to teach, or even if you go off of your own system and you take what I give and you just rinse and repeat and you keep critiquing it, there's no reason you should not be able to make money from these prop firms. And eventually I'm gonna be done with prop firms and I'm gonna go into live accounts because they're gonna ban me. They're gonna all end up banning me for what I'm about to do to them. Because I've already did it to this prop firm right here. And they're already trying to ban me. Like my account is locked. After I lose these 5 accounts right here, they told me that I'm done. They told me that I can't make no more. They told me I'm done after that. So I'm not losing these accounts. And right now I still got 4,000 left of each account. And I just need to make, I'm gonna try to make, I just keep taking the 3,000-4,000 out of each account. Times that by 5 accounts. That, when it comes to the funded accounts, I'm up 4K. I just ended up saying that let's make 7,000 to 8,000 on all 5 accounts. You take out half of that, that's 15,000 to 20,000. And they allow you to take out every 5 days. So, mind you, these accounts only cost me $50. You gave me plus $150 activation fee. 5 accounts total, $50 plus 150, 200 times that by 5, that's 1,000. Instead of putting $1,000 into a live account, I put $1,000 into funded accounts, passed them within the 2 days, and now I'm up 4,000 or 5,000 on each account. Now you will wonder like how am I able to like manage that amount of money on each account? Because it's like my brain is like programmed to seeing that amount from the last 2 years. So it's like I don't know, I beat myself, and that's what trading is. It's just finding out how to beat yourself. Get me? All right, excuse me, y'all. So my brain is already programmed to seeing $1,000 turn into $2,000 to $3,000. You get me? But I ain't gonna lie, I don't look at the money. For some reason, I don't look at the money no more. All I look at is the strategy, and that's the best part about the funded accounts. Once you learn that you have a strategy, you're no longer doing it for the money. To where I was able to slow myself down and be satisfied with my strategy instead of the amount of money that I was making. I was satisfied with, oh my gosh, this works. This strategy fucking works. Fuck the amount of money that I'm able to make. This strategy works. So now when it comes to making $7,000, $8,000 on each account, that's maybe 2 or 3 trades for me. You feel me? That takes me 20, 30 minutes each day. And then I'll make the $150 minimum fee for the other accounts. But let's get done talking with the money, right? Let me show y'all something. Let's go to trading view. And let's go to what I'm actually doing. And I'm gonna end the video off with that. I'm trading NASDAQ. I'm on a smaller screen, but for right now, we should be okay. Let's make this smaller so y'all can see everything. Let's pull this down here. Okay. Let's look at something. So we got, let me make this smaller. All right. So we got trading view, which is our charts, right? And as we go over our charts, I like to mark off my charts every day. I don't like to keep them the same. Let me hide this real quick. I don't like to keep them the same. I definitely like to rinse and just like basically go over them every other week, or not every other week, but every other day. And then every week for sure, I'm deleting my charts. So let's mark off some key areas for my daily time frame, because that's how I basically get the direction of where the trade is going to go. And the direction is very important. You don't want to just be trading just because somebody told you to get in. That's not what this community is. That's not what I teach. I actually learned that going off of what everything is on YouTube prolonged my journey. Going off of everything that was on YouTube prolonged my journey. And that's why I was able to catch on so quick once I started acknowledging like, bro, I'm not getting nowhere from just learning on YouTube. I'm not getting nowhere from just learning from somebody that told me, don't do this, don't do that. No, I have to get in the water. I have to throw myself in the water. And I was going through bread, bro. I was going through so much bread. I like that area. Let's mark off another area. It's 2. That's why we came back down. Boom. Let's mark off another area. It's 3. Let's mark off another area. That's 4. Let's mark off another area. That's 5. Okay. Mark off one more. 6. You'll wonder how I'm getting all my areas. We'll learn it as we go. But boom, I mark off my key areas. And I go to my lower time frame. Let's turn off the sessions. And basically, let's just go over some stuff, right? All I do is look for something called a liquidity run. And I've been sick, so don't take every single word that I'm saying right now to heart or basically to mind and try to jot it down. Just listen for right now. This isn't a teaching lesson. This is just showing you like what I'm actually doing every day, okay? So I'm looking for a liquidity run or I'm looking for a liquidity sweep. That's the terminology. Liquidity run or liquidity sweep. A liquidity run is like what the green area looks like, where the candlesticks are just going one way and they're breaking a certain area. So you have a break and it never came back. Or I'm looking for a liquidity sweep where we broke, but we basically closed right back below. And then we ended up coming back to another area of liquidity. Okay. So we got liquidity runs and then we got liquidity sweeps right here. This is a liquidity sweep to the downside though. It swept this yellow area right here. I'm gonna mark it as yellow. This blue area, after we ended up going on a liquidity run for September 24th all the way until around October 10th, we ended up sweeping on October 10th through like 11th, or basically that weekend we swept. We ended up closing under that on that Friday, and then going into the following weekend, we ended up closing back above. So we swept the all-time lows of this liquidity run. Okay, so notice I said we had a liquidity run. We have lows resting at that liquidity run, and then we ended up sweeping those lows. Okay, and the reason why I say we swept the lows is because we ended up dropping. A lot of people would have thought, hey, as it's dropping, it's going to keep selling. No, all of this is doing when the candlesticks are dropping or going up for a certain amount of time, they're either making a liquidity run, they're searching for liquidity, as in they're going to either keep buying or keep selling, or they're making a liquidity sweep, meaning that people are entering under certain areas after. Okay, let's slow it down. When these candlesticks dropped, these two candlesticks dropped on this Friday right here on October 10th, these two big ass red candles, it stopped at a certain point. Where was that certain point? A certain point was at a previous low. I'll teach you how to like identify what's a low, what's a high. But for right now, that yellow area was my last low point before it went up. Before it went up, that was my first and my last low point. Not this one, not that one, not that one, not that one. All the way down here. The reason why I'm able to identify as this is my last low is because look at over here. That was my previous high that it broke. So before you can have a low, you need to have a high. Okay? Before you can have a low or a higher low, you need to have a low or a lower high. Okay? So look. We have a high, we have a low. We have a high. Before we can actually count another low or another high, we have to make a low. So we had a low, a high, a low, a high. Before we can make another high, we have to make a what? A low. But where are we going to make that low at? We're going to make that low at a previous low, which is under here. But a previous low that came from where? At the beginning of a liquidity run. Okay? So we got high, we got low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. Okay? Now, your entries have to be based off of these highs and lows. Why? Because it's the easiest places to make money. You get me? It's the easiest places to make money. That's why I'm only focusing on liquidity runs and liquidity sweeps. They're the easiest places to make money. Now, everything else that's happening in between is called internal structure. Yes, you can make money in between here. But if you can kind of acknowledge right now, if you're a trader that's a year or two in or a month or two in, or a trader that has been doing it for a minute, you can acknowledge that when you're looking at structure, this is structure. In between highs and lows is structure. This is internal structure. This is external structure. So my highlighted areas is external structure. My internal areas is marked on purple. Okay? This is all internal structure. We're going to mark yellow areas as external. Purple areas is internal. Feel me? Internal structure, you find yourself getting faked out a lot. External structure, you find yourself kind of being on the right side of the trend. You get me? Now, internal structure and external structure is on every single time frame. Is what I'm saying, the terminology that matters. I'm just showing it on a higher time frame. I could show you internal structure and external structure on a lower time frame. Okay? Let's go to the 15-minute. This is the 15-minute time frame. And notice how we're in, let's just say we're in a downtrend, right? We're in a downtrend, but in order to get in on this downtrend, so look, when we go down to the lower time frame, I make it 10 times easier because I turn on my sessions. I don't pay attention to nothing other than my green areas and my red areas. My gray areas are my areas of indication. They're forming, they're giving me the market and what it wants to do tomorrow or the following day or soon. You get me? That's what the gray area is for. But my green area and my red area is where I make my money. Hardly do I trade during the green area. I'm going to start getting into it as I start to swing trade and leave trades longer. But for right now, I have to understand what's going on in my gray area, and I have to understand what's going on in my higher time frame to know what's going to happen during this time right here. The red area for NASDAQ is during New York session. Green is London session. Gray is Asian session. After New York, we got Asian, we got London, New York again. I only want to trade during the green and red sessions. That's the only time. I don't want to trade during gray. And if I am, 9 times out of 10, I'm just up a lot and I'm just having fun. But it's not good to trade during Asian session. Do not do it, please. And the ones that do it, I'm trying to teach you why you shouldn't do it if you're going to learn what I'm trying to help you apply to your strategy or just what I'm doing, okay? Let's go over, I was going to show y'all internal structure and all of that for the lower time frame, but as of right now, that's doing too much. Basically, like I was saying, I have to understand what market structure is going to do, and I'm looking for liquidity runs and liquidity sweeps. So as of right now, if I'm looking at the market right now, right, I have to ask myself, what are we doing overall? And this is on my daily time frame. What we're doing right now is going down, right? But where is the last low before our liquidity run, before going down? Because this is our liquidity sweep. After a liquidity sweep starts a liquidity run. After a liquidity run, it has to sweep somewhere. My opinion is that it sweeps under here because it started a liquidity run up here, and this is liquidity run. This confirms a liquidity run. It broke a previous high. So it broke this high. Let's mark that as red. And this is the liquidity run that it made. This is the liquidity run. And the last low before that liquidity run was where? Down here. Okay? Let's mark that off as yellow. So external structure, did it get swept? Yes. That's also the Friday that it ended up dropping and it never ended up covering down there. So that makes sense on why it took off and it had to pull back first. So on October 10th, around that time, I think it was when the government, I don't know, something, but it had to sweep those lows. After it swept those lows just this past Friday, you got to ask yourself, oh, them would have been great buys. You got to ask yourself, what is it doing now? After it swept those lows, you look forward to make another liquidity run to the upside. But our first targets are these areas right here. And I'll mark these off as light blue. Okay? So, go to my 4 hour. I'm looking, did we break structure yet on the 4 hour? Yes, it looks like we did. But let me put y'all on with a little bit more sauce. Let's delete all of this. Four-hour time frame. I need to mark off my key areas for my 4 hour time frame. It's a little extra cheat code, but I'm gonna put y'all on with it. We got one right here. Make that blue. And I need 2 candlesticks to close above these areas for it to confirm. We got another one. We We got another one right there. I like that right there. Kind of the same areas. Came back, boom. Let's move up. Keep my key areas on. Oh, looks like we got right here. $200. Nah, I gotta go right there. Nope, even that look wrong. I gotta go right there. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. Need 2 candlesticks to close above. All right. We're gonna more than likely open up buying today. Yeah, we're gonna more than likely open up buying today. And for right now, I gotta look at what we're doing towards. We broke these highs, indicated, came back under, swept those lows, broke them for sure. Retested, kept going. Yeah, we're not ready to sell yet. We're gonna target up here. And then we're gonna probably end up buying into Monday. Buying into Monday, retesting Tuesday, and then hitting these all-time 25,000 for the week. Yeah, we're not gonna have. We're not, and I don't see us having another red week for NAS. Let's delete these sessions. That's 3 red weeks. This has to be a nice bullish week for Thanksgiving, for sure. What happened last year? Yep. Thanksgiving, we pulled back. We pulled back. Oh, last year was also the fucking presidential election. But we ended up going crazy towards that week. Yep. So let's bet on that this week. I am finna make some cheese. But other than that, y'all, that's my weekly breakdown. That's my intro to the Discord. And I mean, I'll keep this up for the rest of the week. If we don't end up buying, that'll surprise me. We got 5 days left in this month. We swept these lows. Let me look on a date or weekly. We swept those lows for sure. That's a rejection. The daily never broke these lows, and we swept this last low. Yeah, we're definitely buying this week. Great buys. I'll see y'all at the end of the week, or see y'all on Monday. I'm gone.